All stations, stand by for an incoming radio transmission.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Man, that's crazy. Already got a crowd on over there on YouTube. And let's see. Let me take a quick look and see what we got. Looks like we got a few people over there on Rumble. And I'm trying to get everything rolling and running up here. Make sure all my biggest enemy when we first start this every week, and I forget, and I don't know why, is I forget to turn the volume off on all these feeds going into Rumble, YouTube, and X. And so then I'm afraid that it's echoing back through the mic or whatever. You guys are hearing it back in double and triple time. Anyway, that's a me problem, not a you problem. What do we have going on? Let me pull up the chat on Rumble. We don't have anybody on the Rumble side right now. So let's run back over here and let's see who's playing today. Let me get the right screens going. Oh yeah. I do have my Rush Limbaugh EIB type camera rolling because now actually I'm not ashamed of what you guys see here. It's not like a filthy mess like it used to be. That's one of the benefits of doing it like I'm doing it now. And hey, good morning, my brother Jeff.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
Doing good. Got up late and scrambling just like usual.
Yep. I get up early. Guys, believe it or not, it does take a little bit of doing to make this show happen. Especially on the show side. If it was just a radio net, it wouldn't be quite as intense. But man, we've got all kinds of three-ring circus going on here. We have the live stream. Pamela says she works for coffee. So I work on coffee. But no, I was saying not just the live stream that you're watching right now, but we've got this whole ComStat thing going on now, which is its own whole deal on JS8 calls. So we've actually got HF running here on the net. We've got Meshtastic running here on the net, and I've got local. I've got the local or semi-local Meshtastic crowd. Hopefully those guys will start filtering in, and we'll get some check-ins on Meshtastic there. But yeah, I'm just I'm seeing where we can take this, how far we could take this, and how much stuff can we do and make this the best freaking preparedness net that we can. Let's see. I gotta go back to the camera here, and I'll pop the. Today we are talking about how to insulate yourself from not from fuel prices, because none of us are insulating ourselves from fuel prices unless you bought future fuel at a lower price. If you could do that, you can insulate yourself a little bit. I know Southwest Airlines, years and years ago, they used to buy their fuel 5 years ahead. So I remember it was 2005. I was talking to a friend who worked for Southwest Airlines, and she was telling me that Southwest Airlines would buy their fuel 5 years ahead, and so they were buying fuel at like a $1.60 a gallon, and in mid 2000s, it was quite a bit higher than that, I think. Anyway, we're going to talk about, you know what? One of the things I want, how much did you pay for your last fill up? We're going to talk about my half tank rule, Idaho winters. And I guess that'll go for Michigan, Illinois too. Yeah, Jeff?
I think it's going to go worse for Michigan, Illinois.
It might. It might. And what?
We still have a ski slope open.
Are you kidding?
Oh, we still have a ski slope open here.
You are kidding me. Let's go back over here since we're just hanging out. Oh, actually, it's time to get here into the mesh view. So this is our new net view. This at 9 a.m. In case you've never been here before, at 9 a.m. we start the radio portion of the net, and this goes out over voice, and it's 2 meter 440 kind of thing. I'm using this little internet device called a Shark RF M1KE. And I run the whole net off of one of these. If you're looking at the screen up there, we're talking about the fuel crisis. And we have ComStat on the left-hand side of the screen, upper left-hand side of the screen. That is the new program. Let's see, we got a few check-ins, sporadic check-ins on ComStat. And you can see those on the left side of your screen. Let's see. N7RBP has checked in, and he commented, SIPNET check-in from Medford, Oregon. Beautiful. Thank you. KD8IOK. I don't know who that guy is. He checked in a little bit earlier on SIPNET, and actually reported some diesel prices, I believe. Yep. Holy are you kidding me? Oh, wow. Michigan, yep. Illinois. You guys are nuts.
Yep.
$6.15 for diesel?
Yeah, you can get it cheaper than that, but that's the station that's close to my house where I normally fuel up. Yep.
Holy crap.
Yep.
I thought we had it bad. I mean, honestly, I thought, Idaho, yeah, we're right next to California. California, guys, let me go on to Gas Buddy. And, we got like 5 minutes. Tell me in the chat, what's your what are gas prices like in your area? Where was Gas Buddy? Let's go location. I want to go back to my old hometown. We'll go to Roseville. Oh, holy crap. Take a guess. Without looking it up, without looking this up, what the gas prices in the Sacramento, California area, or let's say diesel prices in Sacramento, California area are. Jeff, any guesses?
I'm going to say $6.80.
Well, that would be $6.89 is the Costco price with your membership. Generally, we are talking about $7.50 a gallon.
I
How?
just looked up where I used to stay down in Yuma, Arizona, right on the border of California. It's only 5:31 down there.
Yeah, that
I'm
is
going to
just
Arizona.
that is just insane. And I don't have my hookup, so I can't show you my screen. But I'm on gas, buddy, and look at these prices. I don't know if you guys can see them on the screen. $7.55 for a gallon of diesel. That is insane. Well, I'm kind of
Man,
insulated on the diesel end. Wow. Now do I feel like I'm invincible. Oh, and we'll talk about that we'll talk about that when we get to the topic portion of the net. Man, what? That's just incredible. That is incredible. We're about 5 minutes, or no, a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes here from the start of the radio portion of the net. And if you're not a ham radio guy or gal, excuse me, oh, hey, if you haven't been to, really quick, if you haven't been to the Idaho 2A News, right here, this is my new channel. I am doing some really cool stuff over there. It's like K6UDA radio, but for guns. So go check that out, both on YouTube and on Rumble. It's K6UDA Guns and Ham Radio, because I can say what I want and do what I want. I got to split all this stuff up. I got a channel. Man, it's crazy. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, YouTube's kind of schizo. Looks like we got about 1 minute to start. Anyway, it's a ham radio net. It's going to be kind of formal for the very first couple of minutes here, and you'll see why. It's a lot of fun and very preparedness minded. And I see Mika Wolf in the chat. Good morning. CUCV Farmer in the chat. Good morning. Pamela is in the chat. Ham radio frequencies. Wow. Everybody's here. Let's go. Good morning and welcome to the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. I'm Bob, K6UDA, your net control this morning. This net meets every Saturday morning at 0900 hours Mountain Time on the K6UDA repeater, located deep within the Southern Idaho Command in Twin Falls, Idaho. This is a digital radio net accessible via WiresX room 4040448. I can't think, or I can't read. And YSF reflector 40448, both known as the Idaho Command. It is available on the Hansen Butte 2-meter fusion repeater, actually 443.750. Yeah, 443.750, I believe. And that's also tied in with Echolink and All-Star. For those of you in the Magic Valley and beyond, the 442.000 repeater, KB7DFP, also connected with Echolink and All-Star KB7DFP repeater here in Twin Falls, can carry it, and you can get in, like I said, All-Star or Echolink from anywhere in the world. I'm going to let it drop. Okay, the purpose of this net is the free exchange of information related to emergency preparedness, commonly known as prepping. We encourage deep dives into subjects related to food, water, shelter, personal protection, weapons, survival tactics, medical issue, communication gear, and techniques. I'm always looking for subject matter experts to lead discussions on all the various subjects. And if you have any material you'd like to present or discuss when you check in, please indicate that you have a subject. Although not primarily political, discussion of relevant political, cultural, or religious events are welcome within the context of situational awareness and survival. As part of my personal preparedness plan, practicing for the gathering and dissemination of important news and information to my friends, family, and my local community is what this whole net is all about. So, as training, we do SITREPs or situation reports every week. While times are good, I'm using general news stories that I find interesting. And I ask everyone here to contribute their own stories or SITREPs, especially if they are in or near an affected area of an actual emergency. Hang on here. Let me move this up. In order to give everyone an opportunity to be heard, I'm going to do check-ins and comments in the following order. We'll do local repeater check-ins first, then WiresX check-ins, then YSF, and then we'll get to live stream stuff and ComStat stuff, and maybe some Meshtastic, if there's any Meshtastic coming in over there. And I certainly hope there is. But some of my messages didn't make it out of my local area. You're encouraged to check in with your first name, call sign, location, and how you're getting into the net, i.e. the local repeater, WiresX, YSF. And that being said, do we have any local repeater check-ins? Come now.
This is Kilo Bravo 7 Delta Foxtrot Papa KB 7 DFP Cannon Twin Falls, no traffic 442.
All right, good morning, Ken. Thanks for checking in, and copied no traffic from you, and thanks for the use of your repeater during this morning's net. Looking for check-ins for the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. Come now.
KJ7 RAR, repeater, Terry from Twin Falls, and I have no traffic at this time.
All right, Terry, on the local repeater here in the Magic Valley. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for waking up early enough to do that, and good to see you on the net. And copied no traffic. Looking for check-ins for the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. This is Bob, K6GDA. Come now.
Kilo Bravo 7, Sierra Quebec, Sierra Lance, Twin Falls, Idaho, on the 4517, no traffic.
All right, good morning, Lance, KB7 SQS. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for the use of your repeaters during this morning's net. And I copied no traffic from you. Looking for local repeaters, local repeater check-ins, or Echolink or All-Star. Come now. All right, let's open it up now to WiresX traffic. WiresX, come now.
7 RBP from Medford, no traffic.
All right. Good morning, Bob. Thanks for checking in. And I caught your check in on SIPNet or on the Comstat also. Thanks for that. And I copied no traffic. Looking for check-ins, WiresX mode for the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. Come now.
This is W6CJJ in Los Angeles, WiresX mode, covering parts of LA and Pasadena. What's the reps when you're ready? Over.
All right, Jay. Thanks for checking in from greater Los Angeles area, and I copied. You do have traffic, and we'll get to your SITREP when we get to the SITREP section. Let's just keep going with WiresX right now till we got a nice little break. Check-ins, WiresX. This is K6UDA. All right, let's go ahead and open it up to YSF. YSF check-ins come now.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Oscar Hotel uniform.
All right, good morning, Sean in Minnesota. Thanks for checking in. Do you have any traffic for the net this morning?
So far, things are pretty calm in our state. We got gun rights issues that are currently going on. They're doing a sit-in right now for trying to make all firearms illegal, pretty much the way they got the wording of the bill. So hopefully nothing's going to go forward with that. So far we're safe. Other than that, it's a nice summer day and getting ready to go camping this week. KF0 OHU, back to net.
All right, Sean, thanks for the update there in Minnesota. You know what? Get a hold of me after the net and maybe email or something and fill me in on what's going on your side of the world. Maybe we'll do something on the Idaho 2A news about it. Looking for check-ins. I'm just going to open it up. Any mode, anywhere, anybody, come now. Okay. Hearing none, we're going to move right into the SITREP section. Hang on here. Let me close that one out. And we're going to move into SITREPs. Let's see, Jay, you're up first. W6CJ, go ahead and update us from the left coast.
Copy. W6CJ, good morning. Yeah, comes from the United States DOJ, California, related to the CCP, China. May 11th, the city of Arcadia, here in Southern Cal, has been charged in a federal court was acting as an illegal agent of the People's Republic of China. The DOJ announced on 11 May. This story goes back a ways. There was a lot of controversy surrounding the Arcadian mayor. Her handler, her campaign manager was a CCP agent who went down a couple of years before this happened. So we'll let him in. Good gosh. Breaking news story, May 13, 2026, also from the DOJ, California. California-based companies, Perfectus Aluminum Incorporated, Perfectus Aluminum Acquisitions LLC, and four affiliated warehousing companies have agreed to pay a total of $549.5 million to resolve allegations that they violated the False Claims Act by knowingly and improperly evading, conspiring to evade anti-dumping, a good CCP word, anti-dumping, and countervailing duties owed to the United States on aluminum extrusions imported from the People's Republic of China. Just another money laundering scheme from the CCP. And what goes on in all those warehouses? Anyway, keep buying those Baofengs and making China great again. That's all I have from here. 70 to y'all.
Jay, you can't hear you couldn't hear us because you were talking, but both Jeff and I were both laughing at that one. That was good. Do we have any other sit reps from anybody out there? All right. I'm going to go through a couple of mine over here. Top world stories. Iran. The Iran war is driving the largest oil supply disruption in history. And that's the blockade of Hormuz. And we all know about that. We're going to be talking about that today in our discussion period. Brent crude is hovering above $105 a barrel. WTI is at 101. Let's see. Producer prices surged 6%. Wow. This is the economy, just inflation. 6% since 2022. U.S. producer prices surged 1.4% in April alone, nearly triple the expected 0.5%, pushing the annual PPI rate to 6.0, the highest since early 2022. The 30-year Treasury yield crossed 5% for the first time since May of 2025. Boston Fed President Collins said the rate hike could be in the cards if inflation pressures fail to subside. Wow. So watch out for that. Trump in geopolitical world said Iran can make a deal or get annihilated. Well, I think they should have taken care of that several months ago. And gasoline supplies, under supply chain, gasoline supplies draw down. Tightening confirmed. EIA data confirmed. Crude investors drew 4.3 million barrels, twice the expected drawdown. And gasoline inventories drew 4.1 million barrels. Fuel transaction data shows Americans are visiting gas stations more frequently, but buying fewer gallons per fill-up. About 9% fewer gallons compared to pre-war February levels. And that's one of the subjects we're going to talk about. I'm going to let it drop. All right, let's move into some more local news here in Idaho. Idaho has now been declared a drought emergency. All 44 counties in Idaho are now under a drought emergency for this year. Governor Little declared a statewide drought emergency for all 44 Idaho counties following record low snowpack, unusually warm winter temps, and widespread drought conditions across nearly all Idaho River basins. And the wildfire season has already started here in Southern Idaho. And in Southern Idaho, we are on high alert. I just got a message yesterday. I was last month I was elected president of our local ham radio club, and I got a message. They're doing an Idaho in NVIS day on June 6th. If you're anywhere in the West and you want to try to participate in that, we're going to be on 40 meters, 80 meters, and 10 meters. No, not 10 meters. 60 meters. We'll be doing that. Let's see. Idaho evacuation system. Idaho adopts a unified Ready, Set, Go wildfire evacuation system. Idaho has adopted a unified statewide fire evacuation messaging system. All 44 county sheriffs agreed, which officials say is rare. The system requires a patchworked 3-2-1 color codes. Other local systems with a single Ready, Set, Go framework. We'll talk about that some other time. And Idaho farmers are getting squeezed from every direction this season. Man, all these stories, guys, are just baking right into what we're going to be talking about after the radio portion of the net closes. So, man, I hope you guys stick around for that, or you tune in to the live stream and check that out. Let's move in. Jeff, do you have a radio with you?
I do not.
Okay. So Jeff does not have a radio with him. So I'll go ahead and continue on here. The hantavirus outbreak that we reported on last week, they have now, as of May 15th, there's 11 total cases. They have 8 confirmed, 2 probable, 1 inconclusive, and no new cases or deaths have been reported since May 15th. So in the U.S., 18 people are being monitored at U.S. medical facilities, 17 Americans, 1 British dual national. And I don't need to go into the rest of that unless you guys want us to. Under Second Amendment news, DOJ sues Denver and Colorado over assault weapon bans and magazine bans, which is very, very good news. It shows that right now, at least, our federal government is trying to stick up for our Second Amendment rights. I'm going to let it drop. Let's see. Under ATF reform, the new ATF director, Cicada, said 30 plus new 2A regulations are underway. I did a video of this with the Idaho 2A News, I believe, a couple of weeks ago. But there's 34 new proposed rules and regulations, and most of them, guys, are pretty favorable to us for federal legislation. I'm very interested in to see what happens with this ATF lawsuit against Colorado and Denver. This could set a precedent for other states. So if you live in a blue state, this could be big news for you. The Army Corps of Engineers, House Republicans has a push for carry rights for national concealed or national constitutional carry. And then they also are pushing for carry rights on 12 million acres of U.S. ACE land. So very cool there. And I believe that's all I've got Idaho 2A news. Idaho firearms preemption enforcement bill that went to the governor's office, and I believe he did sign that one. And then there is then one of my friends who's in the Senate there introduced the machine gun framework bill, and that one is still pending. They'll pick it up again next issue. Thank you, Senator Josh Cole, who's actually one of my buddies. Let's see. With that, that's all the SITREP that I have for the radio side. Does anybody else have any final or last minute check-ins, or need any fills, or have any other SITREPs? All right. Hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and close the radio portion of the net. We're going to pick this up from here on Rumble, YouTube, and X. You can go follow over there at the Idaho Preparedness channel on any of those. X, it'll be a little different. At Grayman Survival, or the Idaho 2A News. Go take a look over there. But the other two, the Idaho Preparedness channel, and you can join in and get in on the chat, get in on everything, all the fun that's going on over there, and we're going to have a good time. Anyway, with that, I'm going to release all of the radio stations, all of the WiresX and YSF folks to their normal ham radio use. We'll see you again next week. I'm Bob, K6UDA 73. All right. So, if that was your first time listening to a ham radio net, that's kind of the way they go, or a lot of them go. And thanks for sitting through that. If you're not a ham person. Looks like we've got 23 in the house right now over on YouTube. And how many? We got a few over there on the Rumble side there. And I think it's time to Jeff, did we have any check-ins on Comstat that you can just kind of brief us on real quick?
Turn around
and I'll
look.
take a look on Meshtastic here. Yes, we do have. As long as you're watching there, we did have one check-in on Meshtastic from Kimberly, Idaho, and that was from Sweaty Sausages. That's the cool thing about Meshtastic. Everybody's got code names. So
we do have one check-in on Comstat from KD9 or KD9 DSS from Indiana. Just said rain is welcomed.
Yes. It kind of looks like it might rain here too. We went from beautiful blue skies, 80-degree weather to we're in the 50s and it's looking like rain right now. Well, with that,
Got a
let's just
a couple comments if you want to go through them before we get into the.
Why don't we do that?
All right. So, CUCV farmer stated that he listened to a podcast of a company that helps farmers market their grain. They expect the price of wheat to go up so we don't run out of wheat wheat for next year's harvest. There's a lot of carryover from last year. 4 to 5 months Southern Hemisphere starts planting fertilizer for them is going to be extremely high for them unless the strait opens up very soon. 10 to 11 month Northern Hemisphere starts planting fertilizer here could be extremely expensive or have shortages. Last fall, liquid nitrogen, 28% liquid nitrogen was $339 a ton. 3 weeks ago, it was $505 a ton, with a 25 or 50 ton load. And then this probably should have made it on the SITREPs, but Tony Petch says, here in Massachusetts, we had a deranged shooter earlier this week in Cambridge, randomly shooting at vehicles in the street. Massachusetts has the toughest gun laws. With that being said, it was a private citizen and a trooper who took the threat down. The news did not mention the private citizen with a license to carry because that would prove that guns are not dangerous. He also says that the shooter had a rap sheet as tall as him and was released from jail earlier after attempted murder on several Boston police officers. Judge was soft on his punishment.
Of course. Why doesn't that surprise me? In a blue state. And yeah, of course, you can't publicize the fact that a good guy with a gun helped squash a little crime and save some lives because, hey, that would just prove the point that everybody knows or that our side knows. But the liberal media can't do that. That's why you should all go see the Idaho 2A News. Shameless plug. Shameless plug right there. All right, let's go switch over to our cool little screen here. And how many thumbs up? We got 26 people on the stream on the YouTube side, YouTube and X side. And we got 12 thumbs up. Can we get a thumbs up? Can I get a amen? Let's jump into it. Last time I filled up. Okay, the last time I filled up, I was actually buying my tractor gas. And I buy 55 gallons of tractor gas at a time. And that is, or don't even want to say tractor gas because that's diesel. And I bought all my diesel last year at the beginning of the winter. And that goes into a 300-gallon diesel tank. So my diesel cost for this summer for the tractors and my diesel equipment is considerably lower because I buy off-road diesel. I don't pay the road tax, and I bought it very, very well. Right now, it would seem like it was on fire sale when I bought it, but we don't want to say fire and diesel tanks in the same sentence, do we? So anyway, that's another thing we're going to talk about. But anyway, I bought 55 gallons of regular gas for the riding lawnmowers and the blowers and the, all the crap we use around here for the summer. And that was well over $200 here. I mean, that's a big chunk to mow your lawn in one fell swoop. That just hurts. Again, we're looking what did you guys pay for your to fill your tank the last time? I know I was out on a motorcycle ride a couple of weeks ago, and I filled my motorcycle up, and I'm figuring, it's going to be $5 or $10. It was $27 to fill my freaking motorcycle. That was insane. I just couldn't understand that one. Jeff, what about you?
I drive a big old diesel, and I believe my last tank was $204.
Whew. That is insane. Like we said in the SITREP, Brent crude. I don't know what Brent crude is, but remember, it's over $105 a barrel now. So that is basically going to really affect everything. Let's see. Yep. Do we have, do people post I know people were posting earlier what they paid for gas or diesel. Post it again. What are gas prices like where you guys are?
The Tony Petschus, the one that's in Massachusetts, $4.45. In Western Massachusetts, Pamela Crabtree says $4.29 in Roane County, Tennessee. That's for gas. If it's for diesel, I'm moving there.
Okay.
CU Seafy Farmer is in Western Michigan. I'm in Northeastern Michigan. He's in Western Michigan. He said gas is $4.74 to $4.99. Diesel's $5.97 to $6.57. And
$7.55 in Roseville, California. Holy crap. That's my kids live there. And that is insane. Here in the Magic Valley, right now, $5.59 a gallon. And the highest, the lowest, right here in the Magic Valley, $5.35. The highest, $5.89. That's from Gas Buddy. And what was cool about this app is when I knew I had to go fill up the 55-gallon barrel, and I used the cheapest gas. It's 85 octane for the lawnmowers. When I knew I had to go fill up 55 gallons, normally I just go to the closest gas station and do it there. But I checked on Gas Buddy, and I drove to get to the lowest prices around here because it's 55 gallons at a time. Let's see. So what did a fill-up cost 3 years ago versus today? It was crazy. We were down just last year. 3 years ago, it wasn't that much difference. That was the end of the Biden administration. Gas was still pretty freaking high. And gas went up almost immediately when Biden took over, and then started to come way, way down as soon as Trump took over, and we got down for regular gas under $2, which I thought that was pretty good. And you guys got even lower than that, right?
Under
Jeff?
$2?
Under $2?
I can't remember the last time I've seen gas under $2.
Oh, okay. Not even in Florida?
I would hear these stories. I was only in Florida just over this last winter. So every time I've heard the stories of gas at $1.89, I'm like, freaking where? And it turns out it's like in Iowa. It's never been that way here. We're always higher.
Yeah. Yeah. The gas prices affect everything. That crude oil price, that affects everything, everywhere. It affects your food prices. It affects your fuel, your heating costs this winter. You got to start thinking about that right now. If you're planning ahead, if you're preparing, you want to really think about what it is, or how much you're going to be spending this winter if crude oil prices hold at over $105. Let's say they go up to 110 or 120 a barrel. I think your heating oil costs are going to go, they're going to go through the roof. And that's something I know, like here, that's a non-negotiable item. That's not something that we could just say, hey, I'll just suffer a little bit and wear a warm coat. No, you'll freeze to death. And the pipes in your house will freeze. And it will be bad, bad, bad. And you'll be sad all day.
Pamela says, is a truck going to fill up in a cheaper state when hauling loads and avoid filling up in expensive states? It definitely will hinder food deliveries and other deliveries based on prices. I can tell you that many, many years ago in a past life, I was an over-the-road truck driver. And I was a company driver, wasn't an owner-operator, so I had to fuel up where they told me, when they told me, with their card. And there was a little bit of a gas spike when I was driving, and they capped us as to how much we could put in our trucks. I wasn't even able to fill my tanks. So it was super strategic, and gas or diesel was nowhere near what it is today. So yeah. I can only imagine what some of the company drivers are going through. And, it's all going to trickle down.
The independents are getting their throats slit. And a lot of them, I know there's a lot of truckers that won't go into California with diesel prices up around $8 a gallon, $7.50 to $8 a gallon. I mean, that's insane. And what your average 18-wheeler has a 100-gallon tank or a 200-gallon tank? What do they have?
Easily it's probably 150, 200 gallons.
I mean, that is $500 to $600.
Yeah.
Do the math for me. How much is 200 gallons or 150 gallons at, let's say, $7.50 a gallon?
Well, 750 and divide that by 2 is 375. So 7,000, 1,125, right around there.
And if you're an independent trucker and you're trying to bringing goods into California or out of California, and you've got to pay that kind of money just to go into California. I mean, how many guys are going to say, screw it, I'm not going there? Or if I am going there,
pop it off before I go in, and I better have enough to get back out or I'm not going.
Yeah. I mean, you're hoping, but how much more is the cantaloupe that you're bringing in or shipping out going to cost or across the country? Because I mean, I think cantaloupe is like a big export from California. A lot of fruits and veggies are.
Well, then, in fact, factor in the like you said, fruits and veggies. Factor in the refrigerated freight. That reefer's got to be running nonstop. So it's burning fuel the whole time that load's in that trailer, or else the load goes bad.
Yeah. Now you got to think about this. Everything, every single thing that we consume or that we buy is moved on trucks, and it's moved with diesel. So when the diesel prices are, I mean, here, $5.50 a gallon here in Idaho, $7.50 in California. What was your diesel prices in Michigan, Illinois?
620, 619.
620, 619. How much does that affect the price that you're going to pay at Costco for your groceries at Costco or whatever, Fred Meyer? Everything is going up. I know we went to Costco. We went to Costco a week ago, and we did not pick up nearly what we normally pick up, and we were close to $100 more at the checkout line than we normally would have been for our monthly big stock up. Yeah, it's just crazy. And Mrs. K6UDA, she was bitching about it. She was bitching. You think about this, those diesel prices. It doesn't just affect the trucker who's bringing it to the market. It affects the farmer who's paying for diesel to kind of like me. And I'm not a big farmer, but I've got a small little place, and I've got tractors. And maybe, just maybe, those guys bought their fuel when it was still lower, before the war started. And if they did, it won't affect them this year. But if the prices hold right now, and how much diesel are you going to be able to effectively store over the summer? It's crazy. I mean, I've got 300 gallons that I can run, but I'll run through over half of that tank, of that 300-gallon tank, over the summer. And if things start to really get crazy, there might be more drastic measures, let's say, with my diesel fuel tank. So if I have to pay $5.56 a gallon by September, October of this year, that's really going to affect the prices and all the other farmers around here that have big tractors, combines, and they're running 24 hours a day, harvesting all the potatoes, the corn, the wheat. Those guys when harvest season comes, these guys are working 24 hours a day. And then you've got the local truckers trucking all that stuff, contracted by the farmer to bring that stuff to the processing plants. I mean, there's so much fuel that's being used here in the production of our food. So again, it pays to stock up when the prices are a little bit lower, if you can. Walk through your grocery aisle right now. Everything is really, really high. What say you, Jeff? What am I missing?
I think you're missing nothing. I mean, and not even factoring in the cost of the groceries and everything, just thinking about the cost of the fuel. Gasoline in the vehicles, mom and dad both work. Mom and dad live on a budget, and their cost of fuel to go back and forth to work just went up exponentially, but their paycheck didn't.
Right.
What's that doing to the families? What are they having to give up just in order to be able to afford to go to work? Because let's face it, not everybody has a savings account. A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. What is this doing to them?
Oh yeah. Yeah. 100%. And you think about other things that the cost of fuel is going to raise the cost of living and doing business. It isn't just, the gallon of milk that's now going to, you're going to see $6 for a gallon of milk. It's other small businesses, like all these businesses that have to run on vehicles, your plumbers, electricians, landscapers, all that fuel cost. They have to bear that, and they're going to pass that along. So their prices for, coming out and fixing your broken pipes or your electrical, or even if you've got somebody mowing the lawn for you, that cost is going up, because I guarantee you they're not going to just eat it and say, oh, well, I got to pay more. And then think about things like emergency services. The fire department, they got to pay for that fuel. Ambulance companies, they're paying an extra surcharge in fuel. Your police and sheriff's offices, all their fuel costs go up. So they've got to bake that into their next year's budget. And
it gets baked into your taxes.
And it gets baked into your taxes. Your property taxes go up. Some places will institute an emergency new sales tax or a sales tax hike on everything, so they could generate a little bit more income, so they can pay for, and the Department of, what is it? Public Works departments, the parks departments, all that. All these things run on fuel, everything, and the cost to them to get all their supplies and everything. That all goes up. You're going to pay for it. We're all going to pay for it. Fertilizer. Looking at, Miko Wolf in the chat just reminded me, fertilizer right now, because the Strait of Hormuz is kind of blocked. Fertilizer's getting kind of scarce, and it's getting very, very expensive worldwide. I know we've got issues here in Idaho where between the drought and the cost of fertilizer and seed and everything else, there's some farmers that are sitting out the year. There's farmers that are planting more drought resistant stuff instead of the feed corn. Normally we've got feed corn grown. We got corn stalks everywhere around here. This is huge corn country, huge potato country. I think the potatoes will do pretty good this year. The corn, I haven't seen half of the corn starts in my neighborhood than I normally do. And the feed corn, that gets ground up and that gets sold to dairies and cattle ranches all over here and all over the country. And so the cost of your beef is going to go up, and the amount of feed for next year is going to go way down. And so expect, this can be devastating. So if you haven't started stocking up on some food and some shelf stable food, really right now is the time to do it, because by the end of summer, when the prices are going up and up and up, and they have, insidious little ways of doing things, shrinkflation instead of inflation. They don't want you to see, you remember all the big giant bags of stuff, Jeff, you go to Costco and,
the bulk buy.
The bulk buy. Well, now the bulk buy it's shrinking incredibly. Oh, yeah. It was, it used to be, you'd buy a jar of pickles at Costco and it was like this big, it was huge.
Yep.
And now it's like a normal thing of pickles.
It's funny you bring that up, because I just went and bought cereal the other day, and I don't eat a lot of cereal anymore since I became diabetic, because I can't give up the sugary stuff. But went and bought cereal, and I bought a family-sized bag, and I think it was for a family of 2 and 2 juveniles, because it was smaller than what the old cereal boxes used to be, and that was the bulk buy, and I couldn't believe the size of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's instead of raising the price 20%, they shrink what's in the bag, leave the price where it's at, and, shrinkflation.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Pamela says that, excuse me, there used to be where there were multiple trips to the grocery store for sports, entertainment, etc. Now each trip has to accomplish multiple purposes, because you don't want to waste the fuel to get there.
Oh, yeah.
Also, on Rumble, KD8LGZ says, thinking about driving your kids to school sports and other events gets really expensive. So are the kids going to start having to suffer because maybe mom and dad can't afford to do that anymore?
Yeah. I mean, there's people that can't afford to drive to work. Right. Because they're, let's say work is 20 miles or 30 miles away or more. And as these fuel prices go up, people are like, it costs me more money to go to work than it would if I didn't go to work.
My daughter's boyfriend, he drives, I think it's like 97 miles, something like that, one way to go to work every day. So he fills up every single day on his way home from work so he can make the next trip.
Wow.
And so what kind of a pay cut did he just get? Yeah. That's essentially what it is. He didn't get a pay raise. He just pays more money to get there by a lot. Yeah.
I mean, and how long is he going to be able to do that before all of a sudden he's going to go, I can't do that anymore. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I think the difference in price, I think he averaged it out and he said it was like $6,000 a year added to his gas bill for driving.
Wow.
So the increase was $6,000.
No raise, no nothing to compensate for that. It's not like the independent trucker who can say, well, now it's going to cost you 20% more for me to deliver your load. He's passing it along. The plumber and the electrician, the independents, they're passing it along. Oh, hang on here. We got somebody. Last station, was that for a SIPNET traffic? Let me just see.
KI4BWS. My name is Scott. I am close to Charlotte, North Carolina. I was just simply throwing my call sign out. That's all.
All right, real good. And I'm in the middle of a different net, so I will maybe catch you later. K6UDA. All right. Sorry about that, guys. You know what? Let's do we have any more comments? Man, there's a ton of comments in there. Ton of comments I'm seeing.
I've read most of them.
Okay. That is the smell of country people. God country. All right. Yeah, a lot of I saw thank you guys for lighting up the chat. And please, if you haven't already hit that if you haven't hit the subscribe button, do that. but I'd really, really like a thumbs up right now. That would be freaking awesome. This winter, let's talk about the Great Reckoning. Cold weather, propane, heating oil, natural gas are all fuel price linked. And when the crude prices are above, what did they say? They want it between, they don't want it lower than like $60 a barrel. These are the oil companies. They don't want it below $60 a barrel. They don't want it above $100 a barrel or $90 a barrel. They've got their sweet spot that they like it. And then everybody's happy. And they're well above the sweet spot right now, I think, at 105. But let's talk about Idaho winters. It gets bitterly, bitterly cold here. And people, older people like me who are on a fixed income, it's not like I can just go out and work more like Jeff or demand more.
Yeah, Jeff doesn't get paid when he works more. That's a pay cut to Jeff.
Oh, okay.
Jeff is on salary.
But a $400+ $400 to $500 a month heating oil bill, or in my case, it's electricity, which is still tied to the oil prices. When that is $400 to $500 just to, and I'm not like trying to keep my house at 75 degrees. That's like just keeping the pipes above freezing. We're wearing jackets during the winter. And when it goes up like that, if you're on heating oil directly or your propane heater, that's insane. Your prices are just killing you. And what happens when people underheat? When they underheat the home, you start worrying about things like the pipes freezing, or you're uncomfortable, and so people bring in the little buddy heaters, and they turn on the oven, and you're trying to heat the house, cooking, burning charcoal indoors, firing up a barbecue. I trust me, I've seen it before as a cop. I've seen people who died from carbon monoxide poisoning because they were trying to keep themselves warm in an enclosed area with not enough ventilation, and they're using like charcoal. And
I had a family member pass away, working security, private security, and they had a little guard shack that was a motorhome that they could go in to warm up, and they had a buddy heater in there, and both he and his coworker passed away.
Wow.
Because of carbon monoxide poisoning in a motorhome on the job.
Yeah. That's kind of nuts. But, people are going to do what they have to do to stay warm. And if they can't run the heater, if they can't afford it, that plays into their thinking. And then they start thinking desperate, bundling up the buddy heaters, whatever they think they can do to stay alive. And sometimes that kills them.
Yep.
So, what can you do? You got to start thinking of other ways to keep warm. One of the big ways here, or for me at least, is my fireplace. Right now, I'm stocking wood and I'm getting things ready to go for winter, and we burn in that fireplace constantly. That's a great source of alternative heat or alternative fuel that isn't going to cost you nearly as much. And like my diesel prices, because I bought my diesel in, I think, November of last year. My diesel prices were down at, I believe I paid something like $2.50 a gallon for the diesel, which was, I mean, if you think about it today, that's like a fire sale on diesel. But now I'm set for that. So I'm not going to run out of diesel this year, hopefully. I don't necessarily use that much. I use, maybe 100 or 200 gallons through the summer of all my tractor work. We use horse manure. Pamela says they use horse manure for their garden fruit. Yeah, we do too. Actually, I've got a pile of horse crap out there and out in my field, and I turn it every couple of months and water it down and let it decompose and turn to dirt, and it becomes some of the best dirt you can get. It's pure fertilizer. It's super hot. We don't buy fertilizer. We just spread that stuff down. Let's see. The supply pinch. You got any of that stuff? Any of the notes that we did?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to?
Yeah. So some of the recommendations, and obviously Bob doesn't do it out there because he's on electric, but here in Michigan, a lot of our rural areas run on propane. A lot of people don't realize it, but pre-buy programs exist. If you're not familiar with it, ask your propane supplier about it. Try to lock your propane pricing in early. I don't know what too early is because I've never been in a propane house, so I don't know. But I have friends that buy propane and they'll prepay for their propane in the summer, so that when the prices go up in the winter, it's already prepaid for X number of gallons, and they just buy it in the summer before prices go up. Might be a good idea to do that. Keep in mind that propane delivery is trucked. Driver shortages, the fuel costs could mean delayed deliveries and peak demand, and running out in February would kind of be bad if you live in one of those abnormally cold areas.
Yeah.
And then here's a note in here. It's about Idaho, so I'm going to talk about it even though I'm not in Idaho. What staying warm actually costs. What's a rough ballpark for a 1,500 square foot Idaho home to stay warm, whether you're using propane, electric, or wood? Bob probably doesn't have to have those numbers because he's running everything on solar when he's not running on firewood.
Solar does not work real well in the winter, especially under a blanket of snow. There's no solar. So my entire solar system that right now, at this moment, let's just see, at this moment, what we're producing. Because, well, it does look like the sun's out. I am producing right this second 6,600 watts of power right now. I am consuming 1,000. That means the house here, everything in the house is running 1,000 watts, and I don't know what's running except all the studio lights and crap in here. We're charging the batteries at 5,000 watts. There's my thing right there. Oh, it doesn't like this. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. In a couple of minutes, usually by 10:30, my batteries are 100% charged. And so all that 5,000 watts of battery charging then goes back out, and I'll start selling that back to the power company. But in the wintertime, I've got a bill. I had a bill starting in January, and I had a $400 bill because we weren't producing hardly any any solar the month before. January and February, basically it's as if I'm not on any kind of solar, which is that kind of scares me for my preparedness plan, because when those batteries don't charge up and everything's running off electrical, if I turn that heater off, I'm going to freeze. If I don't turn the heater off, I'm losing the battery by 3 a.m. The batteries are cooked. So I'm in a vicious cycle that I'm trying to figure out now. And now I've been under that program for a little over a year. So I'm just kind of starting to get a year's worth of data behind me.
I just want to call out a comment real quick.
Okay.
Hey Kim, 1945. You guys showed up in my feed, and I'm glad you did. New subscriber from Missouri. Hope everyone's having a great morning.
Hey, thank
Welcome.
you. Thank you. Yeah. Kay Kim. Welcome to the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. We're not just about Idaho, but we're based here. Yeah. Well, we've about beat that horse. Yeah. Hey, I want to remind you guys to like, share, subscribe, comment. I love the chat. But if you're watching this on Team Replay, leave a comment. Let me know how much your gas prices or your last fill up cost you in the comments. And if you've got a plan to combat some of this. All right. The second half of this now are some of our solutions, our possible solutions, stuff that you could start doing like right now, this week, to help reduce, maybe not reduce your fuel consumption as much, but reduce the cost to you. And Pamela's already mentioned a few of these things. What preppers can do being fuel resilient. I have what I call the half tank rule. I think you do too.
Yes, I do.
If my gas tank hits a half a tank, I go fill up. Now, last year it wasn't, other than my preparedness thing, it wasn't that big of a deal. If I got down to a quarter of a tank, who cares? But right now, a half a tank, let's just say in my Jeep, a half a tank of fuel is $50 instead of $30. A half a tank of diesel is $80. I mean, it's crazy. As opposed to $120 if I run that tank all the way down and I'm down to less than a quarter of a tank in the truck. If I got to go fill that up, there's like $180 right there just to fill the truck. My wife's car, same thing. She's got a little Toyota, like a 4Runner, and I try to keep her running on that half tank rule, but sometimes she just forgets and runs it down. And then we go to Costco, and right now the cost of filling that tank is huge, and she's paying attention right now and using the half tank rule. Trip consolidation. That's something that Pam was talking about. We're not running into town because I got to go fill a prescription, or I want creamer for my morning coffee, and I don't run to town just to do that. Now I've got to have 2 or 3 things that I need to do to get me to go into town. It's trip consolidation. And then you want to start planning things out. So you're using your fuel, your mileage more efficiently than just, oh, I got to go to the market over here, and I got to go to the hardware store over here, and I got to go, oh yeah, I got to go over to Kohl's and ship something back to Amazon or go buy something. And you know what? I'm getting hungry and I want to go to the Mexican joint that's back over that way. Can't do that anymore. If you want to reduce the amount of money that you're spending on fuel, make sure that everything is planned out and your trip is planned out. So maybe you're going to head out to the furthest place and work your way back toward home. Kind of stuff that Jeff used to do, I guess, as a trucker. Yeah, no.
Yeah. And nowadays I don't even subscribe to the half tank rule. With gas being as volatile as it is, one of the things that I've told the folks in my family is, fill up every day. Every day you go out, unless it's just a massive inconvenience, because gas is just going up. It's not coming down. I said, fill up every day because it's going to limit how much you're going to spend. It's going to feel like you're paying less, even though you're still using the same amount of fuel if you're not being cautious about it. But it's a lot nicer to put $20-$30 in your tank because you filled up yesterday and you're filling up again today than it feels to see that 180, 190. That you got to swipe your card, then you got to re-swipe it because it won't let you do more than $100 at a time.
Yeah.
That's a lot more painful. So I believe in the half tank rule, but I've told the family members, we should be filling up every day that we're out.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't subscribe to that because I can't afford to do that. I mean, I don't want to be chipping 20 or $30 a day in. And honestly, I don't leave the ranch that much. I mean, I'm out of here a couple of days a week and that's it. And the rest of the time I don't have to go anywhere. I'm putting lawnmower gas in my side by side. I do all my local around here traveling in the side by side because we can drive them on the street here. How far can your vehicle go on a full tank of gas? That might be something that you want to know. And a lot of them, most of them now, will give you that, hey, what is it? Distance to empty, the DTE, right there on the screen. And that's their rough estimate based on your average fuel consumption that the computer in the car figures out. Now, if you've got an older vehicle, you're going to have to do this by hand, but you should know roughly how many miles you can go till your tank is empty. And then, what's the nearest alternative fuel station that you can get to if you're out and about. That's just common sense. Not even preparedness thinking. That's just so you're not dumb and run out of gas somewhere. Cash. I try to carry cash. My wife steals my cash out of my wallet most of the time. So my cash goes away. But what happens if the card readers fail and you're down to a quarter tank of gas? And the card readers at the gas station aren't working, and the only way you're going to get gas or fuel for your generator or whatever in an emergency is cash. So have cash on hand enough to be able to go to a local gas station. And this is really important when some other emergency happens, like in California. When the winds pick up, California has some deal, and I got caught in it when I lived there. The winds go over like 5 or 10 miles an hour. PG&E shuts the power off. They'll just shut off vast areas and say, the fire danger is too high. No electricity for you. Our first time having that happen, the power was out for 4 days where I lived. The ham radio repeaters went down after a day because the batteries, all the batteries died from usage. Cell phone towers went out in 8 hours, so they were done. So communications became a problem. Most of my neighbors left. They went outside the area, stayed in hotels. We moved into our motorhome in the driveway, kind of kept an eye on the neighborhood. But I had, again, fuel stored up. I had 55 gallons of fuel, so I was able to go run my generators and all that stuff. But the gas stations, they couldn't run. Well, the gas stations around there, they were shut down because electricity runs the pumps that pump the fuel out of the ground into your car. But think about that. If for something else happens and the card readers fail, say a big denial of service attack, and there's something else going on, you start to get those perfect storms. Maybe the power isn't out, but you've got other things happening. Denial of service. The card readers go down because the banking system goes down. The gas station is open, but they're only accepting cash. Have cash. What do we got coming in the chat?
Miko Wolf says, when you swipe your card, think about it. Do you get charged for using your card? Just something to think about. Typically, I don't believe that you do. I mean, there's a little surcharge. It's cheaper for cash, usually at most gas stations, but I don't know. I think it's inconvenient to run into a gas station to pay cash.
It is inconvenient, and I mean, to me, the convenience of I'm going to pay at the pump, and just under normal circumstances, I can afford it. I do it. I don't worry about it, and I like to save my cash for those emergencies.
Yes.
Instead of saving 1 cent or 2 cents on a gallon of gas, I would much rather, if I needed gas, say I'm at a half a tank, or I'm traveling somewhere and I'm down to a quarter of a tank, and you pull into the lone gas station in some place off the freeway, and their card reader's down, and you need gas. If you don't have cash, you're SOL. So,
right. Pamela talks about mapping your trips. Truckers route usually use the shortest route. UPS would plan out their routes to save every drop of fuel for each vehicle. And then she also mentions brownouts, power scheduled off for an amount of time, then power's on for a rationed amount of time in each area. We don't have that really. I've never had a brownout situation where they've done like partial power shutdowns or anything in Michigan. So that's one advantage we have. A couple other recommendations that we've got is store 5 to 10 gallons of fuel, stabilize it. with some kind of an additive like Stabil or something along those lines and rotate it out every 6 months. It'll give you a 100 to 200 mile range at your house. And the purpose is not like in your vehicle, store it at your house. But what it'll do is it'll give you an extra 100 to 200 mile range if pumps local run dry or if fuel prices spike overnight and you just can't afford the spike.
Or if we run into all a 1973 oil crisis where people were literally waiting in lines. Now, in 1973, I was 10 years old, but I remember seeing it on TV where they were rationing gas. And if the end of your license plate ended in a odd letter or an even letter, that meant that's the day you could go buy gas. And I remember seeing on TV the lines. People were sitting there in lines waiting for gas for hours. That was like, a half a day thing. Kind of crazy. Can we see that again? 100%. I mean,
I
I
think we're going to see it again before it's over. And I don't mean before the gas shortage is over. I mean, like, at some point in time when we encounter an SHTF situation, we're going to see that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Propane for cooking. If you're on electric, a single burner propane setup and a 20-gallon tank means your kitchen works even if the grid doesn't. That was one of those things that I was going to go get. You ever see those? They're like a little countertop burner and you see the cooking demos.
Yep.
I've been looking for one of those. I want to buy one.
I want one of those to go with my little electric kettle that we used in our food challenge.
Yeah.
Or our taste testing. One of those burners and the little electric kettle, and you're good to go. Yep.
100%. That's what I want to get, one of those little burners. And a 20-gallon propane tank will last you quite a while. I've got let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5-gallon propane tanks, and I have one of those. I think it's is it a 20-gallon or a 20 or 30-gallon propane tank that I keep a heater on in the shop, and one of the big Mr. heaters. So I could bring that in and cook off grid if the power was out. Wood. I talked about wood as a backup. If you've got a wood burning stove, you can cook on that. It'll heat your house. It'll cook your food. And if you go into the forest and you cut your own wood, or you've got your own trees, it costs you nothing. Maybe, no, it'll cost you the fuel to either get to the woods or the fuel to cut your own trees down and whack them up. And then non-motorized transport.
Yep. Bicycle.
Yep.
Fuel free for short runs, not overkill, practical insurance when gas is $7 a gallon. We live about 3.5, 4 miles from our local Walmart, even though we're in the country. We're like 3.5, 4 miles away. And it wouldn't be out of question to jump on a bike and ride up there to grab some essentials if needed, like that coffee creamer. Yeah.
Now I'm 10 miles from the edge of town. So, I mean, riding a bicycle would suck for me. Mm-hmm. But I have one of those little Yamaha Zumas. You ever seen those? It's a scooter. Yep. It looks dorky. It's a 125. Gets 100 miles to the gallon. I ride that thing everywhere during the summer. And now, if it's the dead of winter and there's snow on the ground, probably ain't riding that thing. But
so was that your motorcycle ride you were talking about?
No. I have a big BMW 1250, and that's got a big tank on it because it's a cross-country motorcycle.
Just making sure you weren't talking about going on a motorcycle ride on a scooter. That's all.
No, I run around town on the scooter, man. That thing is just a bucket of fun. And if gas hit, well, I mean, hell, it's 750 in California. I could see gas hitting $10 a gallon. I could see it. And if it did, what are you going to do? I mean, man, that would devastate this country.
I said if fuel got that high, I'd have to think about retiring or quitting my job, and that's pretty bad because I work from home. But I can't even imagine. I don't even know what that would do. That would just cripple this country.
Well, look at California, because they're creeping up on it right now. I mean, $7.50 a gallon is nuts. And I'll bet in LA, let's find Gas Buddy. And you want to while I'm looking up on Gas Buddy, you want to go through a few of those points?
Yeah, so some things to keep in mind. Fuel storage shouldn't be considered hoarding. I mean, is preparedness mindset individuals. We're storing food, we're storing water. So fuel should be considered the same, just a different category. $6.89.
$8.99 a gallon.
Oh, okay.
In LA.
Gotcha.
In Los Angeles, $8.99 a gallon for diesel. $9 a gallon, guys. That's freaking insane. That is just wow. Miko Wolf, odd and even license plates. That's what time you could get gas, and you had a limit in the 70s. Yeah, there was. I guess what they had a limit. Who knows what that limit is? But if you use the half tank rule, you'll never. Even if they instituted something like that where you were some kind of gas rationing, you'll never hit the point where if they limit you to say 10 gallons of gas, that would cripple you.
Oh yeah.
If
Some
you're on the
people,
half
10
tank,
gallons wouldn't even get them very far.
but if you're on the half tank rule, you're a lot more insulated from that. You get your
Right.
10 gallons, and then you can go back 3 days later and get 10 more gallons and just kind of keep yourself floating at 3/4 of a tank if you're in a big truck. Yeah. The neighborhood network. Do you know who's on your road that has a generator and extra fuel? Now here, that's everybody. That's everybody here. Build those relationships, especially if you're in a city, and if people are willing to share that information with you, or people who are a little bit more prepared, especially if you're in the city. And I would say out here, that's the rule. Everybody's got generators. Everybody's got backup power. Everybody has extra fuel. Everybody has a wood stove. I don't have a wood stove. I wish I did. I want one. But I got a fireplace, which I'm not wild about. Build those relationships right now. Raise your hand in the chat if you're already storing extra fuel. I've got extra fuel. I am, and then how do you rotate it? I've got stable. My 300 gallon fuel tank it's raised. It's, it's up above, so it gravity feeds. I got to have a fuel truck come in and fuel that thing up from a ladder. And then he puts stable in when he does it at the same time. Okay, same raise your hand, or let's hear it in the comments here and the chat. What is your current backup heat source, or do you have one? And you know what? Hey, be honest. We're not judging. So, energy independence, the long game. All right, the vision. You got that part up?
Yep.
All right. The goal is not zero fuel use. It can't be. The goal is reducing your dependency on big oil, I guess. So when the prices spike, it may be an inconvenience. It's not a crisis for you. Like Jeff had mentioned, I'm on solar and battery. So I've got some of that, especially like this time of year. I am dialed. I am running 100% off of batteries and solar in this house. And I'm selling back, albeit after Idaho Power got done with me the last time, or when they redid their pricing structure, they're paying us less than 1 cent per kilowatt hour for the energy we sell back, and we're paying 9 cents a kilowatt hour up to 14 cents a kilowatt hour in the peak. So yeah, screw you, Idaho Power. Let's see. Generator and propane. I would say that is absolutely, it's not an option. Even if you pick up one of those little electric generators or the electric power stations, that is much better than nothing. That'll run essential things in your house if power goes out. The generators would be best. The dual or tri-fuel generators that'll do gas, propane, and whatever natural gas. Probably your best option, as long as you've got those fuels. And vehicle choices. Just food for thought. If you have an older vehicle, it's number one, EMP proof, pre-74. EMP proof because it runs on points and carburetor instead of a electric fuel pump and fuel injection. And an older carbureted vehicle that doesn't have a computer is gonna run even if it's running on bad gas. I mean, you could throw diesel fuel in one of those and it ain't gonna run good and it's gonna smoke like crazy, but you could run diesel fuel or biodiesel in an older gas truck and it'll keep running. Don't try that in the reverse. Don't put regular gas in your diesel. That won't end well. Ask me how I know.
Jason,
Jeff, what's on your side of that thing?
Well, Jason KD2 UDR recommends that probably you personally, should put an insert in your fireplace for wood or pellets.
That's what we're looking for.
In an old house, we had a wood burner insert in our fireplace, and man, did that make a difference.
Oh, I know. The only problem is that's a $5,000-$6,000 upgrade right there, and we've been talking about it for ever since we bought this place, because we had a wood burner in our old place, and that, man, one wood burning stove heated the entire house. I mean, in the dead of winter, it would, it could be 30 degrees out, and we'd have some of the windows open sometimes. And now the fireplace is kind of almost worthless unless you're standing right next to it. Then it's nice and toasty.
CUCV Farmer said wife and him bought an EcoFlow Delta Pro 3 solar generator and a 500-watt solar panel to help run freezers and fridge during the summer when the power goes out and during peak usage time. Pamela uses a wood stove, a kerosene heater, and a propane heater. Pamela says she's 3 generators, almost forgot about them. 2 generators were given to us due to people not wanting to repair them. Katie8LGZ says that for heat sources, that'd be my wife, by the way, we use natural gas. We have a Ben Franklin style fireplace that runs on natural gas, and that little sucker almost heats the whole house. We also have a pellet stove. If the gas fireplace can't do it, we'll fire up the pellet stove for a little extra heat. Or we just head south. And she would like to have one of the old-fashioned cast iron kitchen stove oven things, the older style that look like a stove, the fireplace. But she can want in one hand, and well, we'll not finish that because those are expensive.
All right, let me ask you, pellet stove versus a wood burner. I have a wood burner. I love it. The pellet stove, we put a pellet stove in we do still own a house in California. My daughter's living in it. We put a pellet stove in there, and that still uses electricity. That won't work if the electricity's off.
Correct. Yeah, because it won't. The fan won't activate. The auger won't activate if you've got one of the augers that dump into the burn pot.
Mm-hmm.
So, but my pellet stove, I've got an EcoFlow, and my pellet stove will run on my EcoFlow if I need to. My little portable generator.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
good.
I mean, I can do that. I can't run anything but the pellet stove with it because it does take a little bit of power, but I can do that.
Have you tested to see how long that would run before that EcoFlow craps out?
No, I haven't, because I haven't really worried about it too much because I've got other sources of power. I mean, I've got, like Pamela, I've got a couple generators.
Mm-hmm.
I have, we've got that F-150 Power Boost truck with a 7.2 kilowatt generator built into it. So, I mean, my pickup truck's almost as much of a generator as my actual generator is.
Gotcha.
So I've got redundant power sources.
Gotcha.
So I could run off of a portable generator while I'm charging the solar one up.
Yep. We are going long here. Holy crap. We need to kind of wrap this thing up here. I'm thinking. Don't you? Well, we're having fun. We're going. We're just going. All right. So, if you take one thing out of today, out of our net today, fuel, it's not just a cost, it's dependency. And dependencies, all of them are vulnerabilities. So you need to start thinking about reducing your vulnerabilities. And we've talked about a bunch of ways that you can do that with fuel. And we've just talked about fuel today, not strategically buying food or any number of other things that you need to be doing if you want to be prepared for, I'm not saying what might happen. I'm saying it will happen at some point. Ask Pamela in the chat. I mean, how many times has her power been out for days or weeks after a hurricane or a big storm or whatever? I mean, it's just insane when I talk to her. It's kind of crazy. And you know what? Let us know in the chat. Have you canceled any trips that you were planning due to high fuel costs? I mean, right now we were going to go take a big motorhome. You got a big motorhome, just like I do.
I don't have a motorhome. I have a travel trailer. But no, I have a wedding at the end of this month, down in the Charlotte, North Carolina area that I'm pretty sure that we're not going to go to because $6 a gallon for diesel doesn't seem enticing, and so I think that's one that we're probably going to be canceling.
Yeah. I mean, we were planning a big trip in the motorhome. We were going to go up through Montana, go visit Butte, and then go up to Glacier, and then back around up north through Coeur d'Alene, spend a few days up there. Because I'll tell you what, the Coeur d'Alene area is unbelievably gorgeous. It is, that is some of the most gorgeous country I've ever seen in this nation. And, but it's, even a straight shot up through the state, excuse me. It's a 7-8 hour drive. And in the motorhome at 6 miles to the gallon, that thing's got a 100-gallon diesel tank. Holy crap. 100 gallons, that would cost me $500-$600 to fill that up. And I've always used the half tank rule with that thing. But still, there's $200 to $300 for me to fill that thing a couple of times. That's the cost of an airline ticket to go somewhere. We wanted to go out to Washington, go visit my youngest, and because she's out there near Seattle or Bellingham or wherever it's called, and then go down to California and visit the other two and visit all the other grandkids. I don't know. That's with the gas prices like this, I don't know, man.
Well, I was thinking about coming out there for field day.
Yeah.
And hauling the trailer. If I do that, I'd probably have to stay there for 3 months in order to recover to be able to come back.
Hey, you can work a day of overtime and not pay for anything. Paid for that. Yeah. Let's see. Hey, again, I want to tell everybody, I don't even know what we're going to do. Let us know in the chat what you guys want to talk about next week. And next week, I had something. Oh, on one of these, hang on, let me pull my calendar up real quick. Because I'm teaching out at a, come on, let me see you. Week, month, next week. I don't even know if we're going to be doing a net next week. Yeah, I'm teaching a firearms class next Saturday, and it's not my firearms class, so I didn't get to pick the day. So I think next week we won't be here because I'll be out there. But we'll be back in 2 weeks. And who knows? By then we might have to do another not coronavirus, hantavirus update. If more people start catching it and dying. But hey, I want to thank everybody for being here. If you haven't hit the subscribe button here on Southern Idaho or on the Idaho Preparedness channel, please do. We're not just talking about Idaho here, even though we are talking about Idaho. This goes for everywhere and everybody. Doesn't matter where you live. 34 people on this stream. Thank you so much for joining us. 18 thumbs up. Can I get a bunch more? Can I get 20 more thumbs up right now? How about it? Boom, 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 boom. It's free. Do it. Or I'm not going to let you go. You're just going to have to stay here. No, I'm not going to do that again. We did that. Hey, last week, guys, we had 200 people on the stream on YouTube. We got over 100 thumbs up during the show. That was freaking incredible. That was by far the biggest crowd we've ever had. I just thought that was cool. Up to 20 thumbs up right now. But yeah, hey, that's free. Jeff, you got anything coming up on your channel you want to talk about?
Yeah, kind of ties a little bit into this, ironically, and I'll be honest, Bob and I did not talk about this before he chose this subject, so we just kind of played into each other by accident. But tomorrow, I think I'm going to roll a tornado preparedness video based on the fact that we've had so many storms here in Michigan, and now it's finally starting to get warm. So we're actually going to start seeing some of our spring storms that we haven't seen yet this year because it hasn't been warm enough to have severe ones yet. And then next week, I plan on rolling a video based on one missed paycheck changes everything. It's about being fiscally responsible and planning ahead. So I got those two coming. And I don't have enough fan base yet to pull a live. Otherwise, I'd offer to pull a live next week so we can all gather. But
yeah, hey, his channel, Equipped and Ready on YouTube. You can put something in the chat. Yeah. Storing and buying bulk quantities of food and supplies. Yes, 100%. Pamela is such a wealth of information here. Just love that gal. She is awesome. And over on the Rumble side here, you know, the views are a little bit down on Rumble, but that's okay. That's okay. The Shadow Bear is over there. And LGZ hanging out on the Rumble side. I just wish. Oh, and I haven't checked in on I hadn't checked in with the GZ. Oh crap. See that that's screwed up. How many? We've got post this. I don't want to post that. All right. All right, guys. I think we've about beat this horse to death for today. So, look at that, Jeff. You got a new subscriber. Thank you. Thanks for subscribing to Jeff's. He does things. He's basically kind of going through all the building blocks of preparedness, mindset, a lot of health stuff, a lot of medical, good information, and a personal story, kind of from his channel. So go over there, check that out, and give Jeff a like and a subscribe over there on Equipped and Ready YouTube. Jeff, do you have anything else?
Nope. Just glad to be back. And hey, I got a 2 for now. I did 2 weeks in a row. And
You did.
It's your fault that I won't be here next week.
It's my fault. My fault that we won't be here. But we'll be back in 2 weeks, guys. And I know Saturday mornings, this kind of screws everybody's whole day up, I guess, around the country. Because in the middle of the day back east, in the beginning of the day, and I start this process of putting all this together and getting everything going at 5 a.m. on Saturday, just so we could bring this show to you guys and have it not be just a mess, a hot mess. So anyway, smash that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. We'll catch you guys in 2 weeks. I am Bob, K6UDA. This is Jeff. And I think we're out of here. 7-3, guys.
Have a good one. See ya.